A while back, I first attempted C.H.A.D mode. C.H.A.D mode standing for CHIMPS, half cash, alternate balloons rounds, and double HP Moabs. Except this time, we're gonna take on Bloonarius, which is a really tall task considering, technically, I didn't beat it last time. I want to make a couple changes though. Number one, I want to change double HP Moabs actually to double HP Boss. With a Boss HP modifier, I can now double Bloonarius' HP instead of the Moabs. Additionally, since we can't combine a lot of game modes organically, I have to use a price changer here to double the prices by 2. And that basically simulates half cash, and that is why all these towers here are twice as much. And one more thing, the brutality of early game C.H.A.D mode is not to be understated, so we're gonna simulate as if we started with 4-player co-op cash. That'd be 1800, aka 900 if you think about half cash. And that should hopefully be enough to get us started through the early game. Trust me, we need this, otherwise it's gonna be super scuffed and we're not even gonna get through, even survive to the first tier. Anyway, thank you to the following for making these mods to make it possible to attempt C.H.A.D mode on Bloonarius in the first place. So because of ABR, we have camos. Yes, camos are around 5. If not for, again, for the starting cash, we would have had to leak these. Gonna have to drive a ninja because this is the cheapest way to defend all those balloons. Next up, I'm gonna see if I can save for Churchill. You might be wondering why I choose him, and that's because we need all the power we can get come late game, and he's the most efficient in terms of price per power. He is the most expensive hero, and so he'll pack the biggest punch. And also, I need lead popping this round, don't I? Now, forgive me, as I will have to introduce one more caveat to this challenge, and that is I did several hours of sandbox testing, and I think I'm going to have to leak these balloons here, which does defeat the purpose of chimps, I know. It's now CHIMPS mode. Boo me all you want, but I promise that is all I'm going to be able to bend this challenge, okay? If not for that, then what would even be the cheapest lead popping? Not just lead popping, but camo lead popping on 24. It would just be way too much of a hassle to get. And again, it's a really, really big snowball effect, because like the more I keep delaying getting Churchill down, the lower level will be, and then things will just be harder and harder and harder, until we have to buy a bunch of random crap that we have no chances to 5 rounds on. And so because we can leak those early lives a little bit, here's Churchill on round 18. I want to make my way into affording the submergent support, but obviously money's not there for the Camelot this round, but hopefully by round 28. Actually, 27. I don't think we can survive this round, if not for Churchill attacking the group yellows, yeah. Otherwise, the no shot. I don't think the sub can and Ninja can handle it, but there it is. Churchill and D-Camo has been afforded, so we're basically safe against all the incoming balloons up till, well, Bloonarius. So how about we get started on our village? As you can probably tell with half cash, money is going to be super duper tight, so we have to pretty much save every single penny we can. Starting off with very expensive discount villages, 2,000, yeah, almost $5,000 for just the first 002 upgrade. And the way I see it right now, if I want to gun for the victory, and that is beating all 5 tiers of Bloonarius, not just like getting as far as I can, then I'm gonna try to go big on my first attempt here. Let's get a beast standard down. You probably know where we're going with this. The top path beast, if I can get it, is basically an auto win, alright? If I get it up, it's GG for a tier 5 Bloonarius, but the issue is getting there, because especially in half cash, I don't know if I can save up for from Orca to Megalodon. So we'll have to see about that. 40k HP for tier 1 Bloonarius here, which is basically almost like elite levels that we're having to deal with. So just think about that for a second. And yes, I am crazy, because I'm pretty sure just keeping C.H.A.D mode at double HP mobs would be a lot easier than double HP boss. But I feel like that's a good compromise for me, bending the rules a little bit. Like, how does that sound? Anyway, I think for tier 1 here, we're gonna see if we can just like get a Great White Maximum merged and see if that can take down Bloonarius time, because we got plenty of time to do so. And I guess Churchill, I'll try to put him in strong whenever. Use the ability off cooldown too, because it does get extra mob damage when it is active. Now, I have to get a couple of beast standards outside of discount village range, just so that I have intel. Because if you have the ranges interconnecting with the beast, then take a look here. I can now basically put the fish on any pond of tar pits, or rather spot pits, sorry. Used the extreme version of this map. Essentially, we can say the fish has full memory range though. Also for Skull, I think I gotta put both of these towers back in first, just to snipe the Saram waves, eh? Great White's pretty good at group stuff. It just needs to thrash in the right spot. And we should be good here, come on. Don't leak here, please. Don't leak. Down 1, 2, 3 lives. We're good now. Back to damaging Bloonarius. Anyway, max power Great White has been achieved, and it looks like we actually do have enough to take down Bloonarius. Like, assuming we can beat the last of the Ceram waves on the last skull. Because number 2 here is whiffing a lot. Come on, back over here. Great White. Okay, get ready. Final skull incoming. Let's just pre-prep it down here. Use Churchill ability right now for this straight line here. Move the beast back here again. And done. And surprisingly, tier 1 was not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot harder because, I don't know, I wasn't sure of the Great White's capabilities. But now that I see this, I think it's pretty capable. However, I think I am going to upgrade to Orca because I don't see this working for tier 2, that's for sure. And now comes tier 2, we got Orca now. Because I'm still so paranoid about if I can afford Megalodon though, I want to see if I can, like, as worst case scenario would be to upgrade anything not Megalodon. So right now I just love to see if I can just simply buy beast upgrades to get out of these tiers. So right now, say for the next Great White / Orca, remember we need 4 tier 4 beasts to be able to get a tier 5. And since I had a lot of time spare for like tier 1, I probably shouldn't have gotten so many of these beasts because like this is extra money that might cost me, possibly. What I'm saying is that instead of getting a bunch of 3 power beasts to emerge into the Great White, I should have just waited for like a Great White and a Great 6 so that if I'm ever like 5k off of Megalodon, then you know where things went wrong. Anyway, how's our damage on Orca doing? Each thrash looks like about 1,000 damage. Yeah, I think we have enough in tank here. Plus again, we're gonna keep on getting power as the rounds progress. First skull incoming, watch out. I think it's just ceramics again, right? So it's not that bad. Should in fact be easier, because Orca can probably handle ceramics a lot better than Great White. Indeed they can. Nice. And one more Great White. 48 out of 64 is about as high as we can go before saving for the next 3 Orcas. So I need 75,000 simply to first max out my Orca. God, that's a long way away. So much so that at this point, I think my biggest concern is going to be tier 3. I'm pretty sure I can afford Megalodon by tier 4. It'll probably be like the tail end of it. But man, I don't know how much an extra 16 power will really do. If for 48, it's only barely going to be tier 2 here. Bright side, you got Churchill level 10 now, so that ability does a good amount of damage. It's a lot at level 20, but for now it's not that much. I think it's probably like 3,000 damage. Better than nothing. We'll use it to get it over with as soon as possible, I suppose. I think I've also noticed that in terms of beating the Bloon insides, it's better not to put the Orca in the middle pond. I feel like having it on the side pond is a bit more consistent in getting the thrashes. A lot of greens there. Oh, come on, snipe that. Bruh. Alright, again, that was a really, really good first thrash. Second thrash, not so good. Third thrash, very good. Oh, that probably kills me, yeah. Okay, last try. I've been on this for far too long. It just seems to have way too many greens every single time. So I don't even know if this is going to save me. I'm not going to lie, but Jungle Jumps is probably my best bet. Okay, so this is probably my 10th time retrying even with Jungle Jumps because it's still really hard. Let me tell you. I don't know what just happened, but we beat it cleanly. So much so that I swear to God we didn't even need Jungle Jumps. What happened that run? I guess it was just godlike, I don't know, Orca RNG. Anyway, I don't think getting Jungle Jumps is like a killer. It's probably something that we need for tier 3 anyway. But it would be nice to have more options around once we got there. So GG. Let's clutch these last couple F modes, please. Nice. In fact, Orcas are so expensive, I can't even get max Orca in time. I still need one more. There's no way 56 cuts it, right? Unless somehow the extra damage that Churchill brings is enough to take down 700k HP. Wasn't it 150k in tier 2? Yeah, that's a big jump. It's so over, isn't it? Okay, here's what I think we have to do then. There is still space for an engineer here, right? Okay, perfect. We're gonna discount the engineer and go for an overclock because that is probably the best thing to boost the power of the fish. If I go for another Orca next, then 56 to 64 is not the same amount of extra damage as overclock would bring. So that's why I think going for this is better. Until then, we're definitely going to struggle because the damage you see here is rough as hell. Churchill is simply not leveling fast enough. Level 13 will be nice. He'll get extra damage on the Molt Barrage, but yeah, we're still going to need a whole lot more damage than that. Come on, Overclock. Got it. This now makes my Orca 1.66 times stronger and has full uptime on it, which is great. Don't know, again, I still don't know if that's going to be enough damage, though. As bad as it looked on paper, we're actually only slightly behind pace because, well, 5 rounds have elapsed and we're not quite at a quarter, but hopefully we will get Orca, the last Orca to max, and then maybe more Churchill levels, and then that will be enough to get it all the HP down in time. But I think the biggest issue actually is track length. Bloonarius is simply moving a little bit too fast right now. So even though we're stalling the rounds really well, it's not going to matter, because it's just going to spawn stuff at the exit, or exit first. You feel me? Here is the first skull. Maybe I can just let Churchill handle it, depending on how things go. Yeah. Save level 10 just for this part here, and have him snipe the ceramics. Very good. Yup, exactly what I thought I would expect happen did happen. We lacked the damage. And the problem, I think, with an Orca strategy is that there's really no way out. If you want to add more damage, you can't just simply add, say, maybe an imprisonment like you could with a lot of towers. You have to go for a completely different strategy, which does not synergize with the Beast Sander at all. So, in a sense, it's kind of like an all-or-nothing strategy. You either put all your eggs in the basket, or you put none, because going in between will lead to bad results. And now we can finish off with this Orca, but I think it's going to be too little too late, right? How much damage on each what do you call it, thing there? Like 3,000? Yeah, that's not enough. In case you're wondering, this is about how close we can get on tier 3. About 250,000 HP left, 2/3. But I think this is a dead end, guys. With Megalodon, there's no shot we can afford it. No shot we can afford it on half cash. Like, we didn't even finish off the 4th Orca yet. So I don't even think the money was there for it on tier 4. So I guess that's the end of this attempt here. Plan B is Druids, and we're going to move over to an easier map for them, which is Logs. My thinking was that if I was already axing the HL in Heart's Lost the first time around, well, why don't I use that to my advantage with the Druids? Because, well, they get attack speed the more lives you leak, up to 50%. Still, IDK if it's going to be enough for tier 5, because the Druid of Wrath, Avatar Wrath, is a big step down from the Megalodon. The question is, can I even afford Avatar Wrath? And in order to get all Druids to max lives, what I did on round 39 was I leaked the 2 Camel Rainbows, and that's enough to get max attack speed on all of them. Easy. Unfortunately, tier 1 was a little bit difficult, so I had to buy stuff that I didn't want to buy, like Alp Buff, for example, and an Ice Tower too, just to catch the cerams that come up for each Bloonarius skull, because without actual Groupon power, Druids do not count, then we're toast against so that was necessary. For tier 2, I had to add a Glue Strike, because obviously we weren't going to be able to afford the 90k that is Avatar Wrath for this tier, so that basically triples the damage of all Druids, and so it makes tier 2 pretty easy to kill. Gets the second last lane before it dies. Tier 3, though, here are where things get really, really dicey. So I need Avatar Wrath for sure this round, but the thing is, the money is not there. Half cash is just so dumb like that. That basically by the time Bloonarius was at the exit, I still could not afford Avatar Wrath. I was a little bit under 10k short, so the only way to be able to afford Avatar Wrath is simply to somehow cut over $10,000 worth of stuff. And that I did. I spent a back-breaking amount of time getting through the other tiers. One, without Jungle Drums, without the second Pop List, and without Alchemist completely. How I was able to do it? Just getting glue earlier, and also skipped on this upgrade. Also, yes, one minor issue is that Oben does technically give money with wall trees, because I can't hard Karu Chimps, but I try my best to collect only half the bananas when the trees gets exploded. In case you didn't know, half basically simulates the amount of money that you would have generated from popping it normally. Anyway, money should be there after this round, hopefully, provided it doesn't go into the trees there. Oh my god, $19. We're lucky as hell. Still, I think this is pretty dicey though, because there's only 2 lanes left to do 600,000 damage. I don't know if Avatar Wrath is that good to do that, but well, I gotta quickly get as much attack speed buffs as possible on it, or buffs in general. So the next best thing is definitely Jungle Drums at 3k. On the bright side, I think on tier 3 non-Bloonarius, the insides are very, very, very weak. It's just, I believe, 2 Moabs, or at least just a couple of them. Like, watch here, the skull. What is that? 5 Moabs? Yeah, that's pathetic. And after Village, I think we probably just spam Populous, right? I was thinking maybe Alk buff, but no. This is like 15% attack speed or something like that. Either way, it buffs all druids around in radius too, so makes Populous a little bit stronger with the Druid of Rats. There's 1 out of 5. Actually, maybe I should use an Alk buff because range would be really nice to be able to attack Bloonarius a little bit longer. It's going to be out of range now. We still have half the HP to go. Looking super sus. Well, we got 1/3/0/0 Alk buff, but the buff is only temporary, so I don't know how much that really helped, but come on. Really, all I gotta do is be the insides, and then we should be fine, even if we pop, like, it last minute. Come on. Oh, no, that's too far back. Do I still have my trees? I think I do. Yeah. We're probably gonna have to use a clutch wall of trees here, then, to catch those 5 Moabs, right? Also, in case you didn't know, the Bloonarius spawns don't make you any money, so it's completely fine to collect in full from the trap. Come on, come on. Avatar Wrath on first, I think we did it. Nice. I think that was the key. Now we can have a second Populous. And hopefully, balloons don't cockblock us for the last 140k HP. But we did it. We did what Megalon could not do, and that is actually save to afford that upgrade, because thankfully, 014 Populous army is pretty solid. With that said, I don't think tier 4 is going to be an issue. We're going to probably have enough money for overclock. Not gonna lie, currently relying on just Glue Strike for us to hit TTs is kinda sus, so maybe mid first, I don't know. Thing is, I'm probably gonna get a Called Arms anyway, so I might as well get this out of the way to make things a lot easier. Sure, why not? And yes, surprisingly, no discount Village. It was very enticing to do that to make the MIP cheaper, but I'm pretty sure this late in the game, it won't make the money back. Anyway, how close is overclock? 10k away, not bad. The jump from tier 3 to tier 4 HP isn't actually that big. It's like 700k to 1.5 million. So it seems like we don't need to add anything else really to beat this tier. So that's nice. Our Avatar Wrath is officially almost fully powered up. 5 stacks, overclock. What more can we add other than Called Arms and Stronger Stim? Well, first let's see if the money's there. I feel like anything extra from those two would be a bonus, so yeah. That's a nice luxury to have. Last skull here, and we are now 1 tier away from completing C.H.A.D mode. Okay, wow, there's a lot of money to spare, actually. 17,000? I guess what I was thinking was if I want to buff the Populous army even more, I could go for some Britoments for some +1 damage. That's one option. Another option would maybe be to add more Populous, although the range for them is pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I'm kind of thinking of this tower. Let's get to 120 first. We have 33k. I'm not sure if it'd benefit me more if maybe I had the ability to hit Bloonarius with the Avatar Wrath more often. And so I was thinking, support Chinook is all my money. Yikes. But it's worth it, right? In fact, I should probably pre-place it on 119 so that the Avatar Wrath attacks immediately, because you see, there's a good amount of time where the Avatar Wrath cannot hit Bloonarius, maybe like 30 seconds to start, so sure. Let's turn over back to our time machine to 119. Sorry, I'm not going to get a second ability up again, because if I leave it up here, then I'm not going to have 5 stacks on it. And it's only 30 seconds, so never mind. Let's just wait. So right now, plan, put every single Populous in strong, obviously, so that we target the right thing. And say if stuff does leak, then I guess I'll switch some of the towers back to first, but in the meantime, I think I'm going to try to go for an Umbrella next, because with Chinook, it's pretty good. I can just keep on moving it where Bloonarius is, and it's basically a global +1. Alright, there it is, 410. There's no space to put it, though. Unless here's fine. Fine. I think the Chinook will now come back up again anyway. We'll squeeze in any little bit of damage we can here. Rambles is also very, very, very good. It's like 500 Pierce, and then you do the Glue Strike for 1500, something like that. Definitely worth optimizing that part of Oben too. Another CTA. I feel like our progress is just a little bit behind pace. Yeah, it's not just being behind pace, but also the fact that it was attacking the entire time, so this spot where it's going to be weaker is, well, yeah, just bad. First skull now, it's bad, so that spawns out right. Oh, yikes, 1 bad. Okay, it's probably manageable, but that is going to be an annoying pest. So I would say the moment we stop attacking through this bend here, on Bloonarius, then we move the Avatar Wrath. Because I think it'll only be able to reach the very right side with a now buff. And again, it's not active all the time. It seems to stop attacking, right? Strong? Yep, it's gone, it's gone. Let me do this. Actually, here it gets 4 stacks, so maybe I do here instead for the time being, right? Because it's still a 60-second window. This is so scuffed. I also got another village. Let's get jungle jumps in this one so that we can get that buff there. Moabs? I'm dead. Trees? I survived. Yeah, IDK, y'all. We look pretty cooked here. Let me just say. I'll try to have the Avatar Wrath on strong here, but it needs attention because these Populous cannot do it. And I think now that it's getting back here, we can move our Avatar Wrath back to the original position. Bad news is I also moved the uplift over, so now we have to wait again for the uplift to reach, but nothing we can really do about it unless we get 2 of the thing. Round-wise, we look good because we're taking forever to pop them because we're not focusing them, but we don't have enough track length. That sucks. Again, I didn't know if this is going to be possible, and it seems like we have confirmed that answer. I think I have a little bit more hope and maybe retry multiple times if it was closer, but nah, it's pretty far off. I don't think there's any black magic I can pull out to somehow do an extra 1 million damage for here. But seeing this, I definitely feel like you could say we could beat C.H.A.D mode if the D wasn't a double HP, well, boss. I did that to challenge myself because it fit the theme, since the main target was the boss. I'm not sure we could even say if it was double HP modes, if this could still be pulled off the same. Because maybe with double HP mobs, that small mini Avatar Wrath army could not handle like the early 80s, you know what I mean? So maybe the fate would have been the same. Think about it that way. Anyway, maybe if we can get down to 2 million, I'll be happy. So let's try to push it. We have 11k to spend. I think the best use of my money would just be more Populous, right? Yeah. How about another one? And how about some Druid of Rats? Unfortunately, 1,000 damage is not going to cut it at this point. And nice, we did hit. Well, under 2 million. Can we make it below 1.8 maybe? Let's try to squeeze in a couple thousand more damage with the Avatar Wrath. Nice, we did it. So sadly, we were unsuccessful, but once again, I feel like I gave it my best effort. And if you liked the effort that I gave, then leave a like. And if you're disappointed in me that I couldn't beat an impossible challenge, then also leave a like, I guess. Otherwise, check out the original C.H.A.D video if you haven't already. It's pretty cool.